So in December 2019, I made a video entitled 6 books I have to get to in 2020. So this is it. I'm quite excited. Okay, let's look at the results. Now, the 6 books that I meant to get to in 2020 were The Bedlam Stacks by Natasha Pulley, Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab, The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin, Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor, and lastly, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Okay, so as you may have noticed, I don't own one of the books anymore, and that is because I thought it was good but not worth keeping, and that is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. It doesn't actually even mean that I didn't like the story. I just didn't like how the story was presented on the page. The writing was too dense, the page the sentence gaps were too small, and getting through a page was really frustrating. I might actually listen to it on audiobook again to see if that actually changes my enjoyment of the book. But again, I even thought that the book itself was a little bit disappointing and not really what I wanted. It was a little bit slow paced and there wasn't really any payoff. I love the concept. I didn't really enjoy the book as much as I should, in my opinion. The second book that I would like to talk about is Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor, which I read in October. Again, we'll need to reread because I liked all the plot twists, I liked the story, but I think I shouldn't have listened to it on audiobook because this book is so lyrical, at least from what I know of Strange the Dreamer. And that was what I loved about Strange the Dreamer, which I should have known. I should have read this book physically because I thought it was mediocre, just in terms of the story. I thought it was good, but not especially fantastic. That might be me. Please do not take this seriously if you had a different opinion. Yeah, I thought it was fine. That's it. Now, the next book that I would like to talk about is The Bedlam Stacks by Natasha Pulley, which is a book that I quite liked. So we're going upwards here. I thought it was good. The audiobook kept swapping back like 5 hours a couple of times. So I reread a couple of the stages through the book like 4 times. So it felt a little bit like time was going backwards all the time. This book got me on a time loop, really. And I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as I liked the Watchmaker series. And therefore, it's staying. I will probably give it another chance one day, but it didn't impress me again as much as I wanted it to. Now, the books that I really, really liked. Okay. The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin was amazing, and I didn't think I would love it as much as I did. I don't remember what I said about it last year. The next book I really want to get to is a sci-fi book. So my sci-fi book of last year was a bit tricky for me, and I will probably have to reread it. So I'm kind of gambling with a lot of stuff putting this book on here. I hope it's good. And that is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. But I loved this book. I know that I didn't think I would because it was a sci-fi, but this book felt so much more than just a sci-fi. Like, I'm not saying just a sci-fi, but it didn't have the same effect on me as other sci-fis I've read. This book felt like a fantasy set in a sci-fi world. And the story in itself is not even a fantasy story. It's so original. It's a story all in its own genre, in my opinion. And it rightfully deserves the winner of the Hugo Award, in my opinion. I would really like to read the second book next year. Yeah. I don't want to tell you anything about the story because that is the best part. And therefore I think you should go into it. But I highly suggest that you do go into it. The book that I didn't get to yet, but definitely plan to get to in December, but I can't give you a review of it until I do. So I will probably review it next year in my 6 books to get to in 2021. And that is A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. I'm so excited about it, but I think I'm going to read it in December if I get the chance to. Oh, I'm slightly intimidated because I love it so much and I don't want this book this story to end. Okay, this is a book that I'm so excited. And lastly, 6 of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Oh my goodness. Okay, this book is something that I was intimidated by because of its density. And I didn't read this book on audiobook. I read it page to page. I read it in 1 week. I couldn't stop reading it. It's one of my new favorite books of all time. And I'm not even gonna tell you why, because there's so many reasons. The writing is spectacular. The characters are spectacular. The story is engaging. The world is fascinating. It's all so well executed, well paced. There's some iconic lines in here. This is one of the best fantasy books. Fight me. Okay, so I'm really happy that I did this, and I'm definitely going to be doing this challenge again next year because I liked having challenges like this to stop me procrastinating from books that I really, really want to read. Okay, see you in the next one. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. I'll see you soon. Bye.